happen. 1, 2, 3.
Whee!
Okay. I do believe we are live. Oh my God. Yay. Welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. And we are live on YouTube. And I'm going to share this out to the Facebook platform because we absolutely were not with it at all. Well, no. Okay. Zoom wasn't with it this morning. I'm here. So of course I'm with it.
We're live.
Yeah.
We are live on YouTube. Yeah. So
Look
what
at
I'm going to
you.
do, and everybody, please welcome the fabulous, the glorious, the goddesses of the hour. We have Laura, darling, and we have Candace.
Yes.
Welcome.
And we're talking about the beauty of the unmet needs
Yes.
a little bit.
And gratitude for where we are.
Right. Yeah. Because we're celebrating that we just had an issue of an unmet need to try to go live. And it took us a while. And how we were celebrating that Debbie was modeling a way to manage being hooked into an outcome and maybe being slightly deregulated. That's a nice way to put it, right, Deb? A little bit deregulated. And you know how life would be not so wonderful if we didn't have these differences, whether it's in technology or another human being. And then Candace and I went into like blindfolds and all kinds of stuff to manage all kinds of different.
Oh. It was a fun pre-live class.
It was a fun pre-live class, and we loved Candace's hat.
And I loved that and appreciate it. You know, Buddha style is what I call it. I call it my Buddha. When I'm not attached to the outcome, how it's looking, and I practice this. So I started practicing it with really small stuff, you know, and not huge stuff. But technology and doing these lives for the last almost 3 years, it's forced me to really, I absolutely had no choice because I can't control what technology is always going to do. Yeah. But it also takes us into this whole entire experience of what's happening today in our world. We can't control it. So releasing the attachment to the outcome and doing it Buddha style, I just encourage people to try it and see how it works for them, you know?
Yeah. And can I say one thing about having partners in our lives that do not understand the Buddha style? Because, you know, we're never gonna get people to really get these things that we learn and that you've taken a lot of time, Debbie, to so one of the things that I just did, so I was just talking to Rob so this woman who does laundry in his building, he's a manager. The wash machine broke early this morning, like 6 o'clock. And she's not Buddha. She's put into the outcome of getting her clothes clean. And so when I just was listening to Rob, when you were just going live, he was like, da. And I can't believe it. And he's like, I can't get anybody out because nobody will come out to work on it and then he's like, what are they afraid of? And, you know, so what I did was this beautiful thing that I would not react like that. I wouldn't say, da. But what I did was this beautiful thing was I helped him build his case. Mm-hmm. So when we help the people that don't know Buddha in our lives, how to build a case, all of a sudden they can hear themselves and they kind of go, oh, maybe. And at the end of it, he started laughing because I was going, yeah, that guy. And I can't, what's he afraid of? You know, he's going to get the virus on the machine, you know.
It's reminding me of like in letting go of control and showing that it's safe to let go. You also created a safe container where they felt like they were in control through letting go. Yeah. With creating the container that you just explained.
Yeah. Nice point. So what I'm gonna, well, absolutely. I love this, but what I want to do is I want to just take a quick break, play a song by my buddy David Reed Watson. The reason why is because we're here live on YouTube, and so I've got to get this over to Facebook. And I'll send you guys the link too. I'm going to do my best to get this shared over there, but yeah, I want to appreciate though that you and Rob had that conversation. And you're right, not everybody is Buddha. I got this from, it was actually Dr. Wayne Dyer, and I'll tell you guys what I watched for this breakthrough for me was called The Shift. It's a movie. Do you remember that?
Yes, I love that.
Okay, so that's what did it for me was that
Right.
was that movie. There was a couple of things in there that did it. So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that after.
Okay. I love that movie. That's a great topic.
I do too. Absolutely. It's one of my it's actually one of my go-tos when I need to get
Yep.
when I need to get something.
Yeah.
Something.
Something.
Okay, where are you? Screen, whiteboard.
So now
Aha.
you're gonna play a song, right? Because I'm gonna get my coffee.
I am gonna play my friend David Reed Watson.
Okay.
And you'll
And
put the link in the thing and we could blast it out in the meantime. if you want.
exactly. I gotta
Okay.
pull the link off here, and yeah, we're gonna listen to this song by it's Rage of Angels. It's called With the Beating of Your Heart. It's absolutely this is one of my favorites that David this is one of my favorites. You guys will see why. That is seriously a long song. I tell you what. So welcome back, everybody. And I appreciate that we just listened to some gorgeous David Reed Watson, and I appreciate you, David, for putting out the glorious music that you do. So today's Compassionate Talk is going to be all around the difference between being in gratitude and the beingness of gratitude. There's a big difference between the two, at least in my world. And it's not because I'm not doing, I actually want to share this with everybody because I want to talk about how that you're using this chance right now, this opportunity right now, this glorious opportunity that we are all getting this chance to be at home and truly be able to step into maybe doing something that you've thought about doing that you haven't made the time to do yet. So, and right before that, we were talking about doing just being able to go with the flow and shift without the attachment to the outcome and how to release it. And I was saying that my breakthrough came with Wayne Dyer's The Shift movie. And Laura said you've seen that.
Yeah, I love that movie. And I have to say, until this coronavirus thing, it just came into my consciousness that I was like, the movie's amazing, but it was real easy because Wayne's older. And it's like, yeah, well, he doesn't, he's like, oh, everybody just relax. I'm just like, well, how do you relax and survive? Because he's at that point, he had already written like 20 books, and he didn't have to do a lot of, things that humans have to do to survive at that point, But what I leaned into is that the more we can consciously do that, with our goals, it's almost like having competing goals, right? We want to accomplish, but we also want to relax, because when you can relax, then you can let the magic of the universe that can take you, so it's not an easy balance. And that's why I think it's really good for us to watch that movie a few times, so that we can get the benefit of not only the guy that owns the place, and he's working every day, with the flowers, but nobody knows that he's the owner. And that Wayne is just like this Zen guy coming in going, hey, I just completely relax in the present moment.
Are we talking about two different ones?
Yeah, no, we're talking about, remember the owner was the flower guy and he was the gardener, but nobody knew that he was the owner of the whole Zen place.
Of the Fillmore?
Yeah, in The Shift.
How did I might be okay? I got to go watch it again. I've seen that like 20 times. How am I missing this?
Yeah,
You know what? I'm just forgetting. That's all.
It's okay. Yeah. So the owner is, he's very unassuming, and he's in a lot of scenes, and he's just always working, but nobody knows that he's the owner until the end of the movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. Now I got, oh yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So I thought that was a nice mixture, because here Wayne is like this Zen guy that's being interviewed, and he's telling everybody to chill out, and that life is just going to take you on this magic carpet ride. And while that is absolutely true, right? You call it your Buddha. It's hard because we have competing goals, because we want to get stuff done and we want to accomplish and achieve. Remember all the film crew, they were like, well, you got to achieve.
Oh yeah, you got to do this and that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I thought it was a nice balance, and that movie really resonates. Yeah,
I love that. Okay, so what I loved and what I loved about the movie And I love what you're bringing up. What I appreciated about it was like when the kids were all playing and the mom's insisting they need to go and eat. Or we think that things have to be done a certain way at a certain time. We're so attached to how that looks. And so I've been practicing for years to unattach from how that an outcome should look. I know what I desire, but I'm not married to it. So it's like, if that doesn't happen, I learn to shift that. Now, I also want to address something else you brought up, Laura, which is huge important. And I was listening to Jerry Powell yesterday from Rhythmia, and he owns Rhythmia Advancement Center in Costa Rica. I want to go to this place so badly. They do breath work there and they do ayahuasca. So they're big into plant medicine.
Yeah.
And this place is like freaking the bomb. It's a 5-star freaking resort that you go, you get mud baths, volcano baths, it's all crazy, awesome, gorgeous. But there's monkeys in the trees.
Right.
So, but anyway, so about Jerry Powell, I'm listening to him talk. And now, mind you, this guy's a multi millionaire. He made it big back in the day, and he was one of those Playboy guys and all of that.
Right.
Well, so he's one of those that during this quarantine, no, he doesn't have a whole lot, to worry about. He can you figure, oh, well, he can relax more into it because of where he's at. So I want to address that. What
Yeah.
about people who are feeling
Exactly.
as though they can't? I am here to tell you that I have been in practice for this for the last couple of years. I
Yeah.
came from an existence at one point where I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
I came from an existence with a glorious relationship. Well, ups and downs and whatever,
Yes.
but Dennis and I were together for 13 years. This last 5 years has been the biggest insane, like,
Transition. Yes.
it's constant, right?
Right.
All this training to get, all this training. So I can promise you, I'm not one of those people that right now with the bank account that is going to reflect in cash dollars that I have nothing to quote unquote, as I've been taught with the old behavior system,
Old paradigm. Yeah.
old paradigm to
Yep.
sit and stress over. But here's something, here's how abundance it is so amazing.
Yeah.
I am not one of those people. So I'm one of the people that, well, why am I not flipping the hell out? Why am I not freaking out? I mean, literally, if anybody else were to look at this, they might seriously trip balls.
Yeah.
I'm over here going, okay, I'm over here like, I've been in training for this and I've learned that trusting your abundance, trusting who you are and the worthiness and deservingness, but also um, God's not failed me yet. I may have felt like I failed me, and I may have felt like I came in under par.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I never. But my resources are bigger than me. So allowing that surrender to come through, and I call that God source energy, which is a really good segue into the next space. And this is where I want to take us really. God source energy, God source energy, God source energy, connect.
Yeah.
And I call God. I don't care what you all subscribe to. You can call it what you like. I'm not attached to that. But here's what I do know. One day I was in the car and I'm driving down in Huntington Beach in Southern California, and I've got my sunroof open and I'm chilling with the tunes, and I'm really like just breathing in that badass prana and the ocean breath. And it's like, yeah, right. And Candace was in San Diego. You're in Southern California. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's just, that flow. And Chris Christopherson's, or I think it's Chris Cross song, his song comes on, Sailing. And I wish I wouldn't get busted and thrown off of here for playing other people's music right now, because I'd love to play it for you all. But if you get a chance, go listen to Chris Cross Sailing, listen to the words. All of a sudden, this spark of just comes over me. This deep beingness of total gratitude. Not just being in gratitude, but I'm talking about an overflow to where the tears came, and I call them gratitude tears.
Right.
And I pulled the car over and I sat there with the sun beaming through the sunroof,
Mm.
allowing it to just resonate and permeate my soul, and said, yes, that's it. And when we say this, that's at that moment when you get called in to give the sacred yes, and you go, ah, it's not all about me.
Right.
It's about, ah,
Mhm.
and that glorious gratefulness and thankfulness and that journey of that you have at that one moment, at that moment of divine connection.
Mhm.
And I call that God source energy. And whenever I get out of that space, I say God source energy, God source energy, God source energy, and I bam it right back in. And if that's not working, I go to the Lord's Prayer and I use prayer to get back into that space. But there's a difference between this and being grateful. Being grateful, like I'm so thankful for Laura. She showed up today. She sends me the cutest messages, videos, lightens up my life. Candace, I wake up to this girl sending me freaking bomb ass videos or messages in the mornings.
I know. I love her
And
messages.
right, and not only that, but she sent me she was doing the gratitude alchemy experiment, and every day she would send me her homework. And I got to participate and go through her gratitude practices with her until she found out what she liked and what worked for her, because that's what a life scientist is.
Right.
I believe we're all life scientists. We got to keep practicing. So the difference between those two, one is that beingness of gratitude that literally brings those gratitude tears, and the other is that state of gratitude. I'm grateful, and your conscious awareness.
Right.
So I want to really explore those. So tell me how that feels for you.
I just want to lean in, and then Candace, I would love to hear from you too.
Me too.
So what I heard, because so I'm a hypnotherapist, and what I
Yes.
heard is you had this moment, and you call it God source, and I would say nature's intelligence, but it's the same thing.
Oh, I like that too.
Yeah, just because some people, if you want to just if you ever doubt God, I say just look outside.
Yeah, I could make that.
Just look outside at the tree, right there. It's talking to you. So, and I also let people know that nobody ever yells at a tree to grow, right? So it's like the tree just plants itself. It's beautiful. And we don't have to push anything, because if you just look outside and remind yourself of that tree that just is just slowly loving itself there. And we can all embody that. So, but anyway, going back to your moment, what I heard is you have an anchor. You have an anchor to always remind you that you had this moment in your car, right next to the thing, and you also had the tie-in of the song. So that's a deep anchor, and you can remember the song, and you can remember, and you can bring that anchor back in any moment. So we use those in hypnotherapy and NLP to help solidify things in the subconscious mind. And so what I want to reiterate to our live people today is, I know all of us can lean back into a moment that Debbie had like that in our
Yes.
life. Maybe it was your baby being born. Maybe it's, the day that you just had the most amazing moment, a connection with your spouse or your child. And you just knew in that moment that everything was okay. And we can use that as an anchor to remind us to bring it back, so that whenever we have our normal human interactions where we get attached to outcomes, or we might get afraid of something, we can bring this anchor back in, and we can think about the song. We can even do stuff like, like hold our fingers together in a certain way to have this anchor, and then it can instantly come back in. That feeling could just flood your body, and you're back in the present moment, and you're back into the acceptance and the wonder and the awe and the magic of life, right?
Damn, that's good. Woo! Doggy, get it, girl, get it.
Good.
This is
I'm glad
it.
you felt, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
guys, this is it though. But that's just to take it as, do you see
Yeah.
how this is creation
Mm.
happening, everybody? This is the flow of creation. This is how we all create together
Right.
in connection and community and communicate. There's so many different tools out there, and
Mhm.
I love them all.
Yeah.
That they all work differently for different people. And so, oh my God, now you just like completely solidified it. So I'm curious. We talked about then. Okay, so we know what Debbie's anchor is. I'm going to know, Laura, what's your anchor? And then Candace, baby, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to let you take a
Yeah.
dive into this one.
So my anchor is, you know, I have had so many, I call them aha Eckhart Tolle moments, right? So like all of a sudden you're just, there doesn't even have to be a rhyme or a reason. You just, all of a sudden you have that moment where you're like, oh my God, I just know everything's okay in this moment. And when I get afraid, I try to recall those moments. And if I can't do that, then I drop into 20 minutes of meditation. I get on and connect with you guys. This is a way to anchor in, you know, to like the aha, because I see your eyes and I see your spirits, and that's God, right? Like that is absolutely God in its true formation. So there's all kinds of ways. And I have had moments like that you had, you know, and I can anchor them in, but sometimes they're not always easily available and my mind doesn't remember them. So I think a daily practice, like this morning, I got up early at 5 and I meditated for 2 hours. Now,
That's good.
yeah, so probably part of that might have been a little bit more sleeping, but I was sitting up, I was in a very comfortable position, and my intention was to meditate. And because of that, I feel a little more centered this morning. And so that's one anchor, you know.
That's actually really 2 hours. You know, that's brilliant. Kyle Cease talks about that.
Yeah, I was inspired by Kyle last night, actually. I listened
No
to a Kyle
kidding.
yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm going to do it. So I did it this morning. I got up at 5 and I just naturally woke up. I thought, Laura, don't go back to sleep. Sit and meditate. And that's what I did.
I love this. I saw Kyle at the Dolby.
Me too. I saw Kyle. Yeah.
You were at the Dolby?
I went twice. Yeah.
I did too.
Yep. We were probably there at the same one.
I know. I know we were at the same one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that. You guys, synchronicity.
Yep.
So, woo, thank you, Rockstar. All right, Candace, baby.
Candace.
Let's chat, baby.
Yes.
Oh, wait, I have to unmute you. Sorry, honey. Hold on.
I was wondering. I thought I was like, hold on. I can't tell. Okay, good. It
Yay.
gave me a good, you know, here it is, that place that we're talking about, that pause, right? We're all in this giant pause to 1 degree now, and slowing things down to get the big picture. And, you know, for me, being able to, this is one of the things I want to talk about, was receiving, you know, being a receiver of life force energy, being a part of this giant web of this living, breathing force, this sustainability we all have that links us all, air, breath. And I, you know, for me, being able to receive you guys just now and just listen and pause, I had my own little beautiful shifts. So I'm glad I was able to sit there. And you know, one of the things that came through for me in this grounding of gratitude and cultivating, as someone who recently went blind, I've experienced a lot of loss. And so there's a lot of story of I don't have, and it's not there. And just now I had this internal sensation of the gratitude tears. I didn't have them from my eyes, but like, holy shit, like I experienced those things. Like, you know, I'm grateful that I know what those things are. I may not feel it right now. I may not have it right now, but to know alone is a gift. To have these experiences to look back on, you know, and at 34 years old, and right now I have a lot of story around, you know, my life is over. You know, it was going great and now it's here. And but yeah, I just had this beautiful moment of profound gratitude for all that I have experienced, regardless if I ever get to experience it again. And you know, right now, I'm this whole Corona thing has brought me into amazing gratitude, you know, the cultivated connections, the coming together of people. I have my tribe, I have my people. I'm in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm sorry, but there's a lot of amazing people here. But I moved to Boston for a reason. I moved to San Diego for a reason. I traveled around the US for a reason because there's so much out there. And New Hampshire's a little plaid and vanilla. I'm just gonna say it like it is, you know? And
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing with you. You know why? It's a little plaid. It's a little vanilla. Coming from Southern California, being that I come from Southern California, I'm laughing.
yeah,
I do feel you, girl. I get you.
yeah,
Yeah, totally. So now, like, what I'm hearing is like you're just in this space of having to figure that out. But you know, to be in New Hampshire, and now we're in a stay. We have to stay home.
Yeah. I
Well,
wasn't going anywhere before this though, and that's the thing. Like,
yeah.
I didn't have my access, and now I do. You know,
Yeah.
the San Diego people available to me online, the Boston people, the people from all over are now coming together.
Is that cool or what? I found that out
It is.
yesterday too. I
Yeah.
found out yesterday that we have like all of these, Karen Palmer and I, who's my co-founder of Spirituality Gone Wild, we had this conversation and realized how all this stuff is being connected and we're not even like doing anything really. We're just showing up.
Yeah.
And yeah, so what I'm loving, Candace, is that you've been in training like me.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've been in this
Yeah.
training of,
Yeah.
and I know Laura's been in training too.
And Dr. Wayne Dyer, I'm glad we brought him up. He was like, when I got off drugs and alcohol when I was 21, he was like my guru for a while. He's amazing.
Yeah, you know, he was
the
like
simplification of things. Like Eckhart Tolle was like, "Whoa, slow down,"
right.
and then Dr. Wayne Dyer really takes it apart for us, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the change your thoughts, change your life. And then there's this PBS special that went with it that he did.
yeah.
And how many times, I mean, I have watched that, the teachings of the Tao. I think I've seen it. Oh my God. I can't watch it enough because there's just so much in there that made sense to me. But I could tell you guys, I can listen to teachers all day long, and I do, actually. I mean, I
Yeah.
think we all do, but I also have interviewed like a ton of people. I mean, hundreds in the last almost 3 years.
Mhm.
And it's glorious because I get input, you know, all the time. But here's something I know even more, that nobody out there is a guru, that we are our own guru, that you and you are all we are our own guru, that
Right.
nobody has an answer that's better than the other,
Mm-mm.
because there isn't I don't believe that's possible. I don't think my way is the right way. I just think it works for me. If it works for somebody else, hallelujah. You know, that's why I say without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. And right now in this whole entire pandemic, without your dark, you wouldn't know your spark. So think about that. You know, it's like without this, how would we know the spark and the juice of life that's there to even get back into our state of beingness that we've been talking about from the beginning? Dr. Wayne Dyer and his guy, you know, going into our self-realized, God-realized self, to really come from the observant space. That's what I loved about him. And he taught me how to do that through his teachings, but only through my own willingness to be at one with myself and with source was I able to connect that. And there's not been somebody else that could have told me that this is how you do it. It's more like that comes through us, each in our own uniqueness. I'm not special. Jesus wasn't special. Jesus was unique. He was here to teach us to love each other, period. And so with our connection to the divine, through our connection through ourself, is where that all of our teaching is. It's not even teaching. I think it's just our remembering. And I don't think I'm a teacher here. I think I'm a reminderer.
So can I reflect something, Deb?
Oh yeah, please.
I love that you're saying right now is that you know, we all have a deep knowing inside of us. And one of the benefits that I'm getting from what you're saying is that we have a time right now where a lot of people can't go to work. They can't even interact with their friends. And this is a divine time to go within because it's in some of the stillness. Now, there's different ways to get to the stillness, whether it's listening to a podcast or Wayne Dyer or listening to beautiful music or meditating like I did this morning. you know, or maybe it's a combination of all, I'm not sure, but we find our own inner guru through going within, and the coronavirus has absolutely given us an opportunity in a forced way to maybe contemplate that this is a time for everyone to slow down, spread out, and relax. Slow down. And sometimes you might want to watch a 2-hour show, which, by the way, I highly recommend Sense8 on Netflix. It's all about divine connection. It's amazing. It's one of Scott's favorite shows, by the way. And I've watched it 4 times, but because it's all about your inner senses and going within and knowing that your body and your mind and your spirit has its own answers. We can get inspirations through all kinds of things, which is great. But the coronavirus has given us an opportunity in a forced way to say, hey, you know what? If you choose, you can slow down and maybe
Yeah.
you can find your own inner truth even deeper. And that's what I'm really trying to embody now.
I love it. You just, yeah.
Being
Again,
a human being versus a
yeah.
human doing.
Right.
Oh my,
Yeah.
woo, Candace, the human
Yeah,
being
it
rather
is.
than the human doing,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
Right.
the permission to be you.
Right.
So, you know, when I've worked with people or I've done classes,
Mhm.
it's normally called something like breaking out of the BS,
Right.
stepping into being you, and you are your own guru, or
Mhm.
permission to be you.
Mhm.
That's really the most, people trying, this is one of the things I've noticed. If anybody else noticed, excuse me, with everything happening right now, being that the coronavirus doesn't discriminate, doesn't
Mm-mm.
matter how much, it doesn't give a shit how much money you make.